Imagine sitting in a restaurant, your food half finished, when suddenly the waitress leans close to your table and whispers, "Don't marry her. She'll kill you for money." That's how this unbelievable story begins, shocking, emotional, and impossible to forget. And before I take you deeper into it, if you love stories of fate, betrayal, and second chances, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You won't want to miss what happens next. Daniel Rivers was not just any man, he was one of the youngest billionaires in the city. Self-made, ambitious, and admired by almost everyone who read about him in the financial magazines. To the world, Daniel seemed to have everything: success, wealth, and now, what appeared to be love. He had just gotten engaged to Vanessa Moore, a stunning woman who seemed to embody elegance and charm. Their wedding was announced as the event of the year, and every magazine and newspaper was already buzzing with photos of them smiling side by side. But what nobody knew was that behind those perfect smiles, danger was quietly brewing. On a chilly autumn evening, Daniel and Vanessa walked into a quiet, family-owned restaurant. They had come there to celebrate their upcoming wedding in a less public way, away from flashing cameras. The place was cozy, filled with warm lights and the soft scent of freshly baked bread. Their waitress that night was Emma, a young woman in her mid-20s, working long shifts to pay for her college classes and to support her younger brother at home. Emma had seen many people come and go through that restaurant, but when she spotted Vanessa, her stomach tightened. She recognized her, not from magazines or newspapers, but from a very different place. Emma knew Vanessa's real past. A past that had nothing to do with glamour and wealth but everything to do with manipulation, greed, and betrayal. Vanessa had once been involved with Emma's cousin, who died under mysterious circumstances. Emma remembered the way her cousin had adored Vanessa, how he showered her with gifts, emptied his savings for her, and then, just months later, was found dead. The police had ruled it an accident. But Emma had seen enough to suspect otherwise. And now, watching Vanessa with Daniel, she felt the same icy chill of danger. At first, Emma tried to shake it off. Who would believe her? She was just a waitress, and Daniel was a billionaire. But as she placed their glasses of wine on the table, she couldn't stop herself. Leaning closer, her voice barely above a whisper, she said, "Don't marry her. She'll kill you for money." Daniel froze, his fork halfway to his mouth. Vanessa laughed nervously, brushing it off as nonsense. "Excuse her," she said with forced charm. "Some people don't know when to keep their imagination to themselves." But Daniel's eyes stayed on Emma. There was something in her voice, not hysteria, not jealousy, but sincerity. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. The words kept replaying in his mind. "She'll kill you for money." It sounded absurd, yet something deep inside told him he couldn't ignore it. Over the next few days, Daniel started noticing things he had been too blinded by love to see before: Vanessa's obsession with signing prenuptial agreements in her favor, her constant pressure about transferring assets, her subtle avoidance whenever he talked about family or a future beyond wealth. Curiosity turned into suspicion, and suspicion drove him to hire a private investigator. What came back shattered him. Vanessa's history was darker than he had imagined: multiple wealthy partners, sudden unexplained deaths, inheritance battles, and money trails leading directly into her accounts. The pattern was chilling, and the evidence undeniable. The next morning, Daniel called off the wedding, instantly, without hesitation. The media exploded with gossip, but Daniel stayed silent. Behind closed doors, Vanessa raged, her true nature surfacing in a storm of anger and entitlement. She threatened him, cursed him, but it was over. She had been exposed, and her carefully woven mask had slipped for the last time. But the story didn't end there. Daniel couldn't stop thinking about Emma, the waitress who had risked her job and her peace to tell him the truth. Weeks later, he returned to that small restaurant. Emma was surprised to see him, nervous even, but Daniel simply smiled. He thanked her, not just for saving his life, but for reminding him that sometimes the people society overlooks are the ones who carry the greatest courage. Over time, their friendship grew. Emma, with her grounded heart and resilience, taught Daniel more about life than all the luxury he had ever known. And Daniel, in return, supported Emma's dreams, helping her finish college, encouraging her to pursue the career she always wanted. What began as a whispered warning eventually blossomed into a bond built on honesty, respect, and trust. The story of Daniel and Emma isn't just about betrayal and danger. It's about listening to the voices we're quick to dismiss, about realizing that wealth and appearances don't always reveal the truth. Sometimes, it's the ordinary people, the ones serving tables, fighting their quiet battles, who have the strength to change someone's destiny. So remember this. Never underestimate the power of a warning spoken from the heart, and never be afraid to walk away from what looks perfect on the outside but feels wrong on the inside. Daniel nearly lost everything to a woman who saw him only as a prize to claim, but because he listened, because he dared to see the truth, he found not just safety, but something even rarer. He found real connection.